자, 오늘은 Miss Ness is Missing 마지막 낭독의 시간입니다. 처음 끝까지 쭉 한번 우리 My daughter 서윤이가 한번 읽어보도록 하겠습니다. 오케이. Start.
The kids in room 207 were misbehaving again. People stuck to the ceiling. Paper planes whizzed through the air. They were the worst behaved class in the whole school.
잘합니다.
Now, settle down, said Miss Nelson in a sweet voice. But the class would not settle down. They whispered and giggled. They squirmed and made faces. They were even rude during story hour, and they always refused to do their lessons. Something will have to be done, said Miss Nelson. The next morning, Miss Nelson did not come to school. Wow, yelled the kids. Now we can really act up. They began to make more spitballs and paper planes. Today, let's be just terrible, they said. Not so fast, hissed an unpleasant voice. A woman in an ugly black dress stood before them. I am your new teacher, Miss Viola Swamp. And she left the desk with her ruler. Where is Miss Nelson? Asked the kid. Never mind that, snapped Miss Swamp. Often those arithmetic books. Miss Nelson's kids did as they were told. They could see that Miss Swamp was real witch. She meant business. Right away, she put them to work, and she loaded them down with homework. We'll have no story hour today, said Miss Swamp. Keep your mouth shut, said Miss Swamp. Sit perfectly still, said Miss Swamp. And if you misbehave, you'll be sorry, said Miss Swamp. 맞지?
잘하고 있습니다.
The kids in room 207 had never worked so hard. They went by, and there was no sign of Miss Nelson. The kids missed Miss Nelson. Maybe we should try to find her, they said. Some of them went to the police. Detective Max Mark was assigned to the case. He listened to their story. He scratched his chin. he said. I think Miss Nelson is missing. Detective Max Mark would not be much help. Other kids went to Miss Nelson's house. The shades were tightly drawn, and no one answered the door.
In fact,
the only person they did see was the
아니요, wicked.
Miss Viola Swamp coming up the street. If she sees us, she gave us more homework. They got away just in time. Maybe something terrible happened to Miss Nelson. Maybe she was gobbled up by a shark, said one of the kids. But that didn't seem likely. Maybe Miss Nelson went to Mars, said another kid. But that didn't seem likely either. I know, exclaimed one. Know it, or maybe Miss Nelson's car was carried off by a swarm of angry butterflies. But that was the least likely of all. The kids in room 207 became very discouraged. It seemed that Miss Nelson was never coming back, and they would be stuck with Miss Viola Swamp forever. Here
they heard
footsteps in the hall. Here comes the witch, they whispered. Hello, children, someone said in a sweet voice. It was Miss Nelson. Did you miss me? She asked. We certainly did.
cried
all the kids. Where were you? That's my little secret, said Miss Nelson. How about story hour? Oh yes, cried the kids. Never Miss Nelson noticed that during story hour no one was rude or silly. What brought about this lovely change? She asked. That our little secret, said the kids. Back home, Miss Nelson took it right next to an ugly black dress. When it was time for bed, she sang a little song. I'll never tell, she said to herself with a smile. P.S. Detective Max Mark is working.
Yes. Working.
On a new case. He is now looking for Miss Viola Swan.
아, 고생했습니다. 잘 읽었어요. 고생했어요. 이제 인사하세요. 안녕.
제발 보지 말자.
자.